just coming up to February, and cold winter's grey days, shooting season finished now, a bit of snow the other week as you've seen in my films, and we're due for another short bit. Whether it will lay enough for me to get a painting done again, I don't know, I doubt it, but not at the moment, certainly nothing at the moment. So in the meantime, keep myself occupied, and I did that series of photographs a while ago, looking at one or two photographs that might make a painting. Although I'm more keen to get out and plein air now than anything, I'm just going to keep occupied indoors with a few more working from these photographs in the studio, and slightly different ones. I've got a series I want to do about the Four Seasons. I've got a few little square ones I want to do with some more cafe scenes, and still those ones that were from the past in Provence. Let's look at a nice little colourful one of some red roofs and the sea, the Mediterranean in Provence, before moving on to maybe one of Beverley, which would be quite different. Beverley will be much duller, cooler, softer colours of a winter scene, with the Minster in the background, and of course this Provence one I'd like to do now, just a quick painting, to slap some colour on and cheer myself up a bit. Well, now some lovely colours here for this Mediterranean scene, not far from La Pradette. And I really want to play this broken colour effect, this impressionist effect today. So let's start with these immediately, with these lovely turquoise greens and blues we've got, playing against each other. A little bit of turquoise green, and I'm using the Specialist Crafts paints again today. A lovely range of colour in those as well. Let's have some fun with them. Put a base coat on first of all with this colour, and then gradually add one colour into another as I go along. Bring one colour into another and exaggerate the colours that are actually on the photograph, which are quite good, and it might seem very dark, this green, at first because of the white canvas that's still underneath. Little brush strokes one by one. Could do them vertically, but I quite fancy crisscrossing them this time more. These blues coming in with the... Really want a nice vibrant feel, bright feel to this. As I say, I do need to cheer myself up in winter. I get a bit down with all this grey light and cold, and we'll do a base coat of that before bringing more pink into it in a minute. Let's just bring that lovely... This is cerulean now and white. I want to bring more green into that as well. I'll just get it working first of all. Get a base coat on. I'm just tickling this in to give more effective cloudy atmosphere right up into here. I'm going to put the two, link the two together just here, and then as I link them, as I blend them, I'm going to crisscross with the brush to get the effects backwards and forwards of the light blending one into another. Some of this green down into the blue. So let's take some of that green now, and we'll bring that down the other way equally, just into the blue, so that they link together more equally down here. That's rather cool at the moment, so I say I want to get a warmer tint there. Take a little bit of very, very light magenta and mix that with that white from earlier and the very light blue, one into another here. And again I'm going to link it right down into this little strokes of colour, just dabbing it on gently to give it a slight blending and give the feeling of this Mediterranean warmth. Now that's nice, but I want to go a little bit warmer still, so I'm just going to take a little bit of lemon yellow into that. And I want to just bring even more colour going on down here. I want to bring a bit more of a glow of the lemon yellow against that warmer, against the acid, the cooler greens and the warmer greens. Yep. Right, so we've got the idea of that now. And we need to come down to the sea there, so I'm going to take some of that magenta again and a wee bit of purple, just see if I can get that very, very light. Again, it's going to show quite bright against here, but should be about right now. I have to do more broken colour on here in a minute as well, because I want to get this broken colour effect right the way through, all the way through here. Go back, and that again. Take my very light yellow green from earlier and just make that a little bit paler down here. Blue-green now, that colour from earlier. That comes out. The island comes right up through here. And hazily goes back there. Take some more of that and we'll just darken it down this side a little bit as well. This is a little bit of Prussian blue coming in now. slight touch of the purple in there, slightly more than it was. Just a little bit darker in edges here, against there. Little touches of this colour to make the other look lighter. We're going to play one thing against another. There we go. Let's start working down now to these cooler blues here. I'll take that same very light cerulean from earlier and we'll just start to bring that down over here as well. And again, I want to use these vertical strokes again, so I'm going to start back here with the softness of this. Get this Mediterranean. It's going to be quite different to the next one I do with Beverley. It's fun maybe for you to watch these changes in colour sequences. With somebody recently said, I see so much colour, I try to, yes. Down we come again to the next colours, and we've got a much stronger, we're going back to our turquoise almost in the sky. We're getting a lovely light turquoise happening now. Just more yellow perhaps coming down into here. So I'm going to just bring that, these little vertical strokes now down through here, Still letting the pink glow, but just a little bit of touches of this broken colour happening through into the sea. Just a bit of water just to, I must get rid of the canvas, and these cheap canvases are very dry, so I've got to just lose that a little bit more there. Now before I go back on that, I'm going to let that dry slightly. I'm going to come down to the much stronger turquoise blues, just down here, much stronger. It starts to balance things out immediately. And go vertically to get the feeling of these areas of wind just blowing across the water and giving us, just breaking up this sea into these, just almost a bit of dry brush there, look, just dragging it through. Beautiful plays between the warmer blues and the greens. We take a little bit of ultramarine now and just build that up. Right, this will make more sense when I've got these dark areas out of the way here. It's all light at the moment. When I get that in, it'll make more sense. Put a dark down there, ready for the tree to go across it. And if I've got that colour anywhere else, now's the time to think about it. I might go over this even with more colour yet, but we'll just get these basics in. Now, base colour for this, I think what I'm going to do is use a big brush and just totally cover that with the base grey. Get a fair sized brush and whack that in, and use a 3/4 inch. I'm going to take some Prussian blue and brown, and that will give me a nice base coat for the whole of this. Just whack that all in right the way across it. So get the whole of that painted fast with the glaze of this, the base coat of this to work over. And there we go. Before we add colour onto that, we'll get the marks in the right directions for the tree straight away. So I'm going to come back onto it and start painting up these brush strokes to mimic the trees underneath a bit more. This tree coming out, we'll work into that in just a moment, and the darks down into here. Right, I'm back into here. I've got those done, and we'll start to work our colours that were in the sky. You can hear this bird starting to sing a little bit. There must field springs around the corner. Start to find those same colours that were in the sea coming into this a bit now to link it all together. Bundles of them coming through. Tip of the brush for a filbert is quite good for this. I'm using a filbert at the moment here. Go back to my flats later. It'll bring out the turquoise again, won't it? Being, as this is more orange, it'll bring out the cooler colours. Hopefully you can start to see this Mediterranean feel coming to it already. I'll go back to those pinks that I had earlier. I'm going to take my, because one colour comes into another, that's the point. We've got to link these together and make one play against another as well. If I want to lose this white canvas now, so I'm trying to paint in this thin blue pink mix right through as a wash, all of this white paint, so that I lose it. And I can play with more detail even if I am still slathering colour in. So I've got to come back in with my Prussian blue and burnt sienna, a little touch of ultramarine into it now to just bring some of these darks back again that I've lost. And look how that starts to bring the effect of light back. I keep saying the word starts, don't I? Because it is, we're just at the beginning of all of these things playing one thing against another. Right, I want to have fun now with the flat brush, starting to look at these individual shapes of colour. That one of the main reasons I took on this picture. We're going to bring more colour back into this later. So flat brush now, and let's try to start really making some of these gorgeous colours here that want to be just flat slabs of colour going in. I haven't got to be too exact, have I? I mean, nobody's going to know if my buildings are a little bit off, only me. And we're going to have some of those colours happening into the water as well, so when it's on your brush, you see it somewhere, put it in. We've got these very light highlights to go into here yet anyway. And those gold touches are even happening up into the trees a bit. Look for the colours, look where the warms and cools are. Keep checking, because things will change one colour to another. And warms against the cools will. So if we just do this jigsaw method of right colours, right shapes, right places, we should be able to gradually pull together. So I haven't had to paint in detail every little roof in, I'm just finding these shapes and colours and placing them one next to another to make my, find the yellows against the yellows against the yellow pinks and so on. We've really got to seek these colours out. So when I say grey, I'm using some of the light blue and the warms from earlier, the purples, just to find a little bit of lighter sparkle starting around the coast here. Before adding little bits of cream to be much warmer and will suddenly bring these cools out. Back in some of the darks, which were lost a bit again, so I've got to come back and just find some of these little bits of dark again amongst here. Now, I'm going to work up to my very lights, final very lights on this. Start making a cream to just really try and pick out these last highlights, and I'm hoping I'm going to be nearly there then. I never know what's going to happen in the painting really, so hopefully we'll be closer. Just off cream, let's see what we get. I'll just try getting that into, there we go. These bits of light into the background here, just indicated along here. Do a bit of dry brush work there in just a moment as well. I'll just soften the edge a fraction. And of course, we start taking that into other places that it's going to be beautiful and flashing and vibrant. And that's going to be happening also up to the buildings. Now, as I was saying about these colours here, not convinced I've got enough width in there either. Let's have a wee look at that. See the difference that makes alone in linking it with the houses below. A bit strong there. I need to just play these against out here to get the cooler blues to seem a bit cooler. And that's what's the matter out here at the minute, I think. By playing these different blues together as well, I can get the shadows right and help to pull the thing together a bit more. We want to try and get a little bit more brightness on some of these roofs. A bit more of a pink, orange pink. Let's see if I can do that. We'll take some very light orange first of all and mix that with the cream, and then take some magenta. These lovely sunny roofs. Missing something. Maybe I should try the opposite. Maybe try a very, very light green amongst the oranges to see if that can get it to work with compared to the yellow. Might just be, look. Now that's the difference, is we want a very light yellowy green amongst the oranges just to play those opposites and cools and warms. I think I just need to come back, not with the darks as much as now with the lights, but I'm going to take a small brush and just do both. Some fine marks of the darks and lights just to try and bring things out a fraction. And might be the same out there on the rocks. Little bits of dark just against the... It's caught between becoming too figurative if I'm not careful on this lovely abstract quality, and it's difficult to know. I could have probably kept to looser brush strokes on the buildings. Be careful I don't dot too many I's and cross too many T's on this. Just not getting the vibrance I really want there. I've just got to get one right colour to get there, I reckon. Not quite with it. Almost there, it's just on the edge of catching it and not. Right, I did the darks just now. Let's come back with the fine brush and a few lights. Let's go back to the very, very light cream just to finish off, and I hope that is it, because as I say, I'm starting to feel I'm overdoing this. Starting to make it too figurative again. I wanted to keep the pattern of it. You know, I'm sure it's just one colour that I haven't got that it's working, and I cannot see for the life of me which one it is. So until I am happy, I will have to keep playing, but I think I'm getting there. Let's come back with the green. I'm not, I can't really put more reds into that, I don't feel. I just wonder if I'm getting enough of the cool greens, blues in it. Because if we don't have the opposites, we can't expect it to work. Try some yellow ochre down here. See if that warms up the... Yes, that yellow ochre pulls it back a bit more. No, I'm not convinced about the pinks. Right, there's flash pink here and there that I think I needed. Yes, that's better, sort of more shanty town feel to it that I was originally after. Could be the tiniest of marks that will just make it. Like that one that just helps to link that. Well, there we are. A nice little Provence one, plenty of light and colour and warmth. Now we're going to go back to a Beverley one, my own photographs here. Late afternoon scene, rain coming down and drizzly and reflections on the pavement. I was going to do a larger one, but I think actually it will suit quite a small one. But I want to treat it again very loosely with the flat brushes and just work up these shapes. But again, a very different colour palette now, much quieter, more English. But let's have some fun and slam in these colours. Fairly abstractly, fairly contemporarily. I want to start to try and simplify things even more. I want to keep to this sort of semi-abstract feel. Try and get a few pinks going just here. well, right down through into the cadmium deep, and we'll go in with that for fun. Nothing like the photograph, but I know what I want. I'm going to just work this in here to get the light that I want. It's quite dull. And we'll bring those yellows down into there as well. Get this feeling of this. These lovely colours just coming through here. The same down here too. That's it. Now I want to come down to this bit. So we'll work on the roof here. Make it a little bit stronger. Not the colours you might expect. We're doing this traditionally and more realistically, that is. I really don't want to go there. The colours of the cathedral behind. Well, I've got to go warmer than I went with the sky, so let's come on with a coating of yellow ochre and a bit of magenta. See if we can really get the feel of this. A fraction of water with it because I'm not quite getting a thin enough edge on my brush with it being too dry. Well, right down through here, and it comes right down to the car there. And then I want to go a bit bluer, in fact, because I need to bring this blue. I'm going to go slightly warm and put a little bit of ultramarine into this, because we're playing one against the other, remember, we're not trying to get it exactly, we're just playing. I'll put a little bit more detail with the fine brush later. At the moment I just want to get the feeling of this, the illusion of this, impression of this scene. There we go, right down through there. I'll come back to that colour again, the yellow that we wanted. Make it a bit finer. And let's start to play with that. Golden feeling we've got on that, and the softer colour, using the paint quite thinly at the moment and just sort of glazing in. So we'll have a little bit more magenta and a wee bit more of the yellow into that, and let's just feel those colours again that are there. And we'll go back up into this where the trees are here now, and a bit more of that blue into it, and we'll just try and feel some of these branches that are coming through here. Let the brush do the texturing for me there. Get a deeper bit of green in there in a minute as well. Right down to the roof here and down behind here. A slight touch of green into there. We'll come back down to these windows and the door again. A bit stronger than that. Light shining through the back of the canvas a bit now, by the way, that's why it's looking suddenly glowing at you possibly. And even in between the steeples a bit, just to sharpen up there as well. I want to find these beautiful colours up here now. Let's find these gorgeous purple and magenta colours up here. I'm using more colour than I say, so normally we paint this quite in a dull way for a rainy day, but it's rainy, but the light is actually shining through here a bit, so let's enjoy. So what I'm doing is just getting on some base colours, but just remembering where my drawing is to aid me with painting all of these shapes in shortly. What I'm going to have to do is shape started. Leave these different colours one off against another. The way that they blend in down here as well. Over the cart, through here. Get rid of all of the white canvas before putting stronger colours in and tightening up the drawing with loose strokes. Starting to get the feel of the light already, eh? Add more blue to it again. Get the tints just to get these basic background colours in that I need. That's it. Better. And this colour that's coming through here. So even on a dull day we can push the colours, can't we, and enjoy it. Don't pussyfoot with your colour, get in there and just enjoy it. We can put one colour over another, we really haven't got to worry. Don't want to be too loose with them, otherwise we'll lose the drawing, so it's important just to keep the drawing going and the tabs going on that. Lovely green down here, that's I can exaggerate in a minute. Colour them first. Now, what have we got here? Sort of strange mid grey. That comes down, we'll make it a little bit stronger in a moment. I just want to get the base working. Around to there, just behave yourself, brush. Lose this white canvas as soon as we can now. Get these colours established, or these lights and darks established here now, so I know where I am. That's what we're doing really now, the sun's in the way. Gonna have to probably leave this to a bit longer or till tomorrow now, because I just cannot quite see what I'm doing. And once we've got these, I'll be ready to go with the smaller brush and work up some details. We've got figures going on in the distance there. I do want some detail, but not too much. I don't want to overdo it. Just feeling these darks and bits of texturing that are going on in here. And right, so we're getting there. The feel of it. It's these bits of light and dark to play with before I get back into the really strong colours again. That's feeling of this very dull day. I'm going to bring up some lights again in a minute. I need to start getting those back in again. We've got all these medium tones and the dark's just about sorted out now. But I really need to start looking at these colours more. Let's have a look at them now. And even these yellow lines in the road aren't just yellow, they come out as a very light green here. I love playing with these reflections. I notice quite a lot of artists do as well, because it's nice to play with these abstract shapes and just have an illusion of something that suddenly seems to appear out of nowhere. It really look for these colours. I keep saying it, but you've got to. Not just accept that you might have it that easily. If we keep looking, we'll find more. And look at these gorgeous colours I can find here now between these, which are really helping to make it. I'm going to bring yellow down here in a minute as well into this. Let's just feel these slabs of colour coming all the way down here before I put the warmer yellows in compared to this cooler blue. Little bits of light just coming through, catching the cobblestones. It's a little bit slick, but it'll work. That's what matters. It'll work. But this is the point, is to use pure colour and not just assume things will be just greys or mattes, or we really want to try and find these pure lovely colours happening here. Look how that pink comes down over other things here as well. And not only pink, it becomes a sort of yellowy pink too. There's a series of colours going on in here. Beautiful colours. And then might bounce backwards and forwards. Sometimes they'll seem too strong and you'll think, what's he doing? And then in a minute I'll come in and put some others next to them which will soften them back, and it'll work again. You can see now as I gradually come from the darks and bring back the lighter colours. So it's pleasingly coming together gradually here. I'm going to have to make some much lighter blue-greens now, so I'm going to take some lemon yellow and white and mix it with that very light turquoise I had earlier, and we'll start to see if we can start to get these much lighter. So it's far lighter than that even. Much lighter, pinky. A little tiny bit of magenta into that, just to give it that little bit more light, and we'll really start to find the way that these highlights, even the feeling of the lamp here being lighter. Doesn't take a lot of paint at times just to get these marks right. So it's not an idea to put in too much detail, it's a matter of just getting the illusions, the images right. So we can do a dull day and use strong colour as well. It's just that colour has to be slightly closer in key and still correct, relevant one shape to another. A lot of artists would just say, oh, it's just white and yellow to make cream, but it's not. There's a lot more colour going on we need to see in here. A lot more colour than that happening in here. Even to the feel of a collar on this person here. If we just put 2 marks in, we should be able to get a wee bit of collar there. Look, that's all it needs. I like these little bits of highlights, don't you? Now let's really start to push these lighter colours. I'm going to take some clean white and a little bit of lemon yellow now, and I want to really push these very light yellow creams that are coming on down here. Let's have a look at this now, and start to feel some of these golden colours coming from the lights, both sides here. Now you can see how those cooler colours that I put on earlier are going to work better. And right down and through. Suddenly comes to life because of our underpainting. Don't want to make it too Christmas cardy. It's that sort of a scene, but there we go. And I really want to get a glow into it, so I'm going to go to, I don't normally do this, but we could do with pure white, perhaps a little bit of light blue in the middle as well, because that will work against the cools. So I'm going to first of all take some very light blue, I mean very light blue, just as tiniest touch of turquoise into the white, that water's slightest slabs of colour coming in here now. I'm going to go a bit whiter, so I'm only just off white on these, and really now build in these much lighter tones on here. I should make this next year's Christmas card, shouldn't I? It's a bit like that. Alright, back to the yellow again, because I just want to come back now and just carefully catch yellow into some of these lines along the side of the road here. Not too much, but just to lighten them a little bit. Don't be too detailed with it. You see how quickly a painting can start to come together once we start putting these final details in. Let's take some white and just drag it downwards here just to give the effect of reflections a bit more, rather than too many verticals. That gets a little bit warm there. I want to cool that a fraction. Just to drag the eye forward a bit there, and if I do that, then I might have to put a bit of orange in there. The salient points that get them wrong will stand up like a sore thumb. It may not be the thing you think is wrong that is wrong again, so let's just have a look at the sky here and sort it a little bit more. Have the smallest of marks that can make a difference, and so just what I'm trying to find here is the reflection in that glass. That's better. It'll do it. Let's call that a day. Well, I intended this one to be a bit looser, but I think it'll do as it is.